Welcome to the Board Wrap-Up Show. I'm your host, Sean Anderson for Ponca City Public Schools, and this is our monthly visit with Superintendent Shelley Arrett. And stepping in for this edition, the May edition of the Board Wrap-Up Show, is the Executive Director of Human Resources for Ponca City Public Schools, Curtis Layton. Curtis, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, the May Board of Education meeting was a pretty busy one, and it started with retirees, folks retiring from the school district, and how did that go?
Well, it went very well. Ms. Arrett always reads a little bit about their career, and we had 8 certified retirees and 7 support retirees. Total of 401 years of experience.
Wow.
Is retiring this year, and what's really impressive is 371 of those years were here at Ponca City. So it's a well-deserved retirement on their part,
right.
But we're going to miss them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was a very special way to open up the May Board of Education meeting. And then it got into the Board of Education honors. I call it the honors. I mean, of course, it's the Employee of the Month and Friends of Education. And tell us about it, please.
Yes. We recognize Employees of the Month every month, and this month we recognize Janice Brandstetter as our Certified Employee of the Month. She is a pre-K teacher at Washington, and she was given her award by her principal, who's also retiring, so it was her last time she got to do that.
Oh, wow.
And so it was neat that there was somebody from the pre-K there. Our support employee was Kai Skidno. He's our production manager at West Middle School. And our friend of education was Walmart. They've been a longtime friend of West Middle School and have provided them with a lot of resources that they weren't able to purchase. So.
Yeah. Well, graduation is coming up, and as you watch this, graduation is coming up Friday. And the latest weather forecast, and we're filming this on Wednesday, the latest forecast looks pretty good, actually, for Friday evening. We certainly hope it stays that way. Of course, there's always a contingency plan in place with Ponca City Public Schools, and Mr. Layton, this year no different.
Correct.
You have a contingency plan just in case the weather does not cooperate. What's that plan?
Well, the plan is we'll take it to Robson, and we'll make that decision on about noon on Friday. To give people plenty of time, things to set up. So, obviously, we're hoping that we don't have to make that decision, but there's definitely a plan in action. Excited about graduation this year, 307 students.
Wow.
And, at the scholarship, I think the Scholarship Awards Assembly, they gave over $100,000 away in just local scholarships alone.
Wow.
Doesn't even count what was received outside of Ponca City.
Yeah.
Another neat thing about, obviously, the graduation, the Great Escape, it happens afterwards.
Yeah.
It's kind of the after celebration. And I think there's been over $15,000 of donated prizes for students there.
Wow.
So to give them a healthy option
Yeah.
and to be a place to be after graduation, it's very successful. And our community does a great job of supporting our schools.
Tremendous.
Best I've seen.
Yeah. Tremendous community support for the Great Escape and the Phillips 66 Atrium after graduation for graduates. And so many businesses come together, so many people in the community come together to volunteer, donate prizes, and make this a very special event and a safe party,
Yes.
a graduation party, and that's what it's all about. And those prizes really get the students super enthused. They are ready to win because these are not small prizes.
No,
these
we're talking iPads,
Yeah.
iPhones, there's Beats headsets, I guess those
Yeah.
are headsets.
Yeah.
and all TVs, there's all kinds of stuff. It's
One of the big prizes this year, I know, is a complete tailgating set.
Oh, wow.
With a pretty high dollar tailgating set, complete with the Yetis and the tents and all of that stuff. So big prizes to be won at the Great Escape after graduation, and certainly hope graduation can continue at Robson Fieldhouse. They'll make that decision, as Mr. Layton said, by noon on Friday, and if it does need to be moved, it'll be moved into Robson Fieldhouse. Had to do that before one of my daughter's graduations was inside Robson Fieldhouse.
And she still graduated, right?
Yes, she did.
Yeah,
She still worked out. Yeah. It worked out. Well, contracts is something that always comes up for the Board of Education, and you had several come up, including Burnett Security, Trinity 3 Chromebook refresh, and some of these I don't understand, but you can
Sure.
tell us these are pretty routine things.
They are. We're kind of at that point in the year where we start really getting ready for next year, and so a lot of these contracts are approvals for the 1920 school year. Burnett Security, they run our security at the high school and keep our site secure there. Every 3 or 4 years, we refresh Chromebooks at certain sites. We're refreshing at 4 different sites. You know, as soon as you buy technology, it's outdated.
Right,
So,
right.
we're always constantly on a refresh there. Same with the Promethean boards. Those are the active boards the teachers use, and interactive boards, and that's for a refresh at 3 different sites. This year, we've contracted. We did last year some with Hinman Lawn Care to handle some of our facility needs, and our maintenance is going to handle part of it, and then we've contracted them to handle the other part of it. We want our facilities to look nice, and
Right.
that's been a big priority for us, and they did a good job for us last year. We approved a contract with the Recplex to have the swim pool for our swim team and events. Beasley Technology, we are refreshing cameras at 4 different sites. Our 3 secondary sites, and then we're adding them to Washington Pre-K, and that includes the camera and the software, and we're replacing several hundred cameras with only 80, but they're multi-view cameras, so they can they got 3 different lenses. They're looking 3 different directions, so much more fancy than I had, but it's going to be good. So
Yeah.
keep our sites safe. We're also we're starting the installation of new seating at West Middle School in the auditorium. The hope is that that's finished by August, and also along those lines, we're also replacing seating at Howe Auditorium as well. So,
that's wonderful.
yeah, a lot of construction projects going on. And
those seats have been there many years.
Yes, and the West seats have been there
even more.
way too long. Yes.
Right. Well, the Cooperative Activities Program is an agreement between Ponca City Public Schools and other private schools in our area, and it's something that also involves the OSSAA. How does that work, and what was this all about?
Well, we do this every year, and it's an agreement we sign that it's for the OSSA that students who are 7th and 8th graders at Lutheran and St. Mary's can play on any of the Ponca City teams where they don't offer that sport. So, for instance, Lutheran at basketball, they won't play with Ponca City because they have a basketball program. So, it gives us a chance to develop our future Wildcats that are coming to us.
Sure.
And it gives kids an opportunity to participate in many things.
Very good. The employment of assistant principals and administrative changes. Now, the assistant principals, this is pretty much a routine thing you have to do every year, right?
Yeah, we approve, assistant principals are on a separate line item, and then the teachers come later in this board meeting. We've had a lot of administrative changes to date. We've 5 different changes. 4 of those changes have been internal. So as we move one person to one spot, it creates a hole in another one. And so we've had a lot of movement, a lot of positive movement. And Stacy Satchery is moving from the East assistant principal to the West lead principal. Keith Crocker is assistant band director at this point, is moving to the assistant at East. Jennifer Dye, who is the assistant at West, is moving to the lead at Union. And Tina Fisher, who is instructional coach at Woodlands, is moving to the lead at Washington.
Oh, wow.
And then we hired one candidate that is not internal, named Catherine Bible, and she'll be an assistant at West. So lots of movement this time of year.
Incredible. You know what's so impressive to me is how Mr. Layton has all of that memorized. He does, which is amazing. Rehiring of certified and support personnel, this went as expected.
It did. It was our meeting that we bring back. Officially, we rehire all of our certified and all of our support folks, and back for the next year. Now we have until June 18th. We've initiated that we're bringing them back on contract, and then teachers have till June 18th to let us know if they're going another place. So
Right. Very good. Well, again, graduation set for Friday at Sullen Stadium. In case of inclement weather, of course, it'll be moved into Robson Fieldhouse. That decision will be made by noon on Friday. Well, we thank Mr. Curtis Layton for filling in for Superintendent Shelley Air. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And this is going to do it. That's going to do it for the May edition of the Board Wrap-Up Show. Now, as the school year ends, we continue the Board Wrap-Up Show every month. That's 12 months, year-round. And we'll be back next month for the June edition of the Board Wrap-Up Show. Thank you for watching. Until next time.